Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Resto Mod Daisy with a hail and farewell to a project gun that rolled in recently that's fixing to head right back out and hopefully get home before Christmas. Cross your fingers, say a prayer. We're calling this one a Sandblaster Red Ryder. The gun showed up, as you see, with a painted surface, refinished wood, attractive brass barrel band. So the externals have been taken care of pretty good. Let's take a look at the mother-in-law side with the Mighty Mighty Red Ryder logo on it. And as you can see, the gun is quite attractive externally. When it showed up here, it was non-functional. And the reason it was non-functional was because it was packed full of blast media from the blast shop that did the paint job. I don't know. Sometimes you think you could look inside to see if there was any gunk in there. We got the unit apart because it would not cock, it would not arm. Customer sent down a bunch of different parts, 3 different plastic trigger assemblies. We picked the best one to install. During the deinstallation process, we realized that up in the compression chamber was packed full of bead blast media. The barrel on the original abutment assembly was also blocked. As you can see, it's clear as a bell now. Not that it matters that much because it's not in the gun. And during the process of trying to dislodge whatever the obstruction was, the barrel decided, because it's only secured with this little divot and that little bitty piece of aluminum inside the abutment assembly, it decided it was time to leave the building. So it popped out, which allowed me to get the BBs that were jammed into it popped out. Correspondence with the owner indicates that that probably happened something like 25 years ago. It's been sitting around for quite a while. The mainspring was not sacked, but didn't deliver a hell of a lot of power. And of course it had the original folded steel air tube. The compression cup wasn't unreasonably worn, given the high sand environment, but also we know the gun didn't really run that much in the preceding 2.5 decades. So after this incident, I decided to go ahead and sub in a brand new current production shot tube and abutment assembly. It has a couple of advantages over the old assembly. The old assembly, and if you'll notice here on the business end, there's a slight little mark there at the top of the barrel. That is a seam. That seam runs all the way down this tube, and in some barrels can constitute a source of air loss. The other major defect with the original equipment gun, our original equipment in the gun, is you'll notice there's no crown on this muzzle. So it's just flats on. Let's hope it's a 90-degree angle. There may be some flanges or twinges or little bits of metal that affect flight. The new shot tube is seamless. There are no seams on it, and it does have a crown, if you'll notice. So shoots a little better, a little tighter bore, easy to install. Just a matter of tapping it out of the way and then installing a new one. So when we put it back together, we put it back together with a new abutment assembly. It sits up here about like so. We replaced the mainspring with a Cobalt 327 mainspring. We replaced the air tube assembly with a new compression cup and a 764 overbore air tube. And to see just how good it can run. When we finally got it running for the receiving test, after taking all the sand out of it and cleaning up the inside, it was running about 252 average speed over 10 shots, about what a new Red Ryder would do. After we swapped out the internals, that jumped from 252 to 313 with a high speed recorded of 364. And it was in the first 10 rounds that we fired through the gun. And then we planked around with it for a day here at the shop, shot a can with it, did some target shooting. Here's a example of a 5-round group offhand at 20 feet. And that's with my tired old eyes and a relatively dark sight set. It does manage to hit, but I'm hoping that Bill and his brother are better shots than I am. 5 rounds inside a beer can of angle. So for Resto Mod accuracy standards in a smoothbore BB gun, not too bad. After exercising it for a bit, we ran another fire for record test, and she jumped from a 313 average up to 360 feet a second average. Solid super thumper. Forgive the black bars, but that happens whenever you put a white thing down in front of my little cell phone. So, as I said, it's a hail and farewell. It's been fun working on the gun. Real surprising in terms of performance. This is a late 80s, early 90s U.S. production piece. Let me show you the roll stamp. As much of it as you can see, the paint job is kind of heavy. but it does not say made in China. It says made in USA. So this is one of the pre-Chinese total manufacturer guns, even though it's got Chinese components in it. I'm pretty confident that the customer is going to be happy. I'm pretty confident his brother will be shocked. And hopefully they'll have a Merry Christmas. That's all we've got for you today, kids. This is Shane Bruce with Resto Ma Daisy signing off.